Hello again, welcome back. Just a bit of an update. I have got a bit carried away without the GoPro and I've progressed a wee bit, but I've got the turbo moved in a bit, so I've now got a good sized gap between that. I couldn't go too close to the rocker cover, so I've got it there. Time to start doing downpipes. The flanges that came with it are 2.5, and I have 6 meters of 2.5 inch exhaust tube there, stainless, and I bought a box full of 90-degree bends. So I've done a wee bit. Excuse the child in the background. I've done a wee bit. I'm just trying to work out the best angle to take these downpipes out of the bay at. Starting with this side first because it's easier, and I'll save the headache for last at the far side. So I think that should bring it out at a nice angle. It needs to rotate a wee bit maybe. That should bring it out at a nice angle down underneath, so that I can get another 45 on it and throw it up against the prop of the car, up the middle of the car, out to the back. I have a wee bit of a dilemma as to what to do with the filters. I had bought cold air ducting to feed in through the headlight buckets to provide a cold air feed, but I don't think I want just that with no filter. So I'm debating running filters and just running a nice bit of ducting. Don't know where I've put it, but I had a bit somewhere. There. Run a nice wee bit of ducting just up like that, potentially, to feed the air into the turbo from a distance. Still going to do the same job, and it should look a bit nicer as well, hopefully. So next task will be to get the downpipes made and out underneath the car. I'm going to need to get a couple of bosses for the AFR lambdas. Need to look up and see what the best distance is to put them away from the turbo. If anybody has that knowledge, let me know in the comments section. Yeah, it's progressing nicely. It's progressing the way I wanted, thankfully. So, enjoy. So I was up one other day this week and I forgot the GoPro. Typical, isn't it? Anyway, made a bit of progress on the downpipe, as you might have seen on social media. The downpipe wasn't as handy as I first thought it was going to be. Can't quite see it there, but it is the whole way out the bottom now. So I'm going to have to get all that welded up at some point. For now, it's out. I'm happy enough with that. I can do it whenever the engine's out of the car. Speaking of which, that's the plan for today. Once I get this downpipe made, I have this 45 on to get it in the rough direction. This is before I discovered that I could make pie cuts. I have one pie cut here to kick it towards the starter motor area again, and then I need of a 15-degree bend on the end of the actual downpipe itself. So that should hopefully give me the flexibility needed to get this. I want it to come out somewhere approximately over there, as tight to the gearbox area as I can to keep the exhaust in the center of the car. So once I get that done, I intend to try and get the engine dropped out of the car today, to try and get it so that I can get the engine bay ready for paint, grind off all the old brackets and stuff like that out of the engine bay that I don't need anymore, and get one more thing closer to getting the car ready for going to paint. So yep, here we go. So I figured out that the 15-degree bend on the end of this was too much, so I have adjusted the chop saw and I've put it down to a 10-degree bend, which turns out is near enough perfect. So you put this down in, line it up, and mark it so that I can get the welder that's about perfect at that. So just need now to bring it over to the bench, line the 3 marks up with 3 marks on the downpipe, tack it up, offer it up into place, and see if it still fits. So I shall be using my lovely wife to help me for this one.
Not bad.
Nothing can't trust to do anything, can I? I've got the tubing right up the inside of the flange, so whenever I'm satisfied now it's in the right place, so I'll tack this on while I'm doing it up here, so it can't move any, and hopefully that'll be the downpipes done. Okay, now that's welded up, it's time to tack it up rather, and see if it fits. Alright, so tight. And the initial thoughts are that looks good. I'm going to put the car up now, have a wee look in underneath to see what the two of them look like coming down out. Right. Fairly happy with that now. It leaves plenty of clearance all the way around it. Doesn't hit the dipstick pipe way up there, though you can't really see it with the sunlight. I'm aware of that. This side you can see what I had to work with. Wasn't much room to get out there with the steering joint and the oil filter cooling and the heater pipes and the head and the servo and the brake pipes and everything really. But it's out now. The two of them come out at sort of the same place on the car, which is quite nice. So I need to get this one marked up here somewhere, cut it off and leave it ready then for whenever I do the rest of the exhaust, that I can get the pipes on it. So I think the next logical stage for me is, now that this is all done, is to get this engine and box dropped back out again, so that I can get the rest of the engine bay stuff done to get the car away to paint. So here goes nothing.
Is this some kind of miracle we didn't see?
one engine out of the engine bay on the floor, and thanks to my lovely wife for operating the lift. That's going to do me for today. I need to get this engine out of the way, really, out of the way of the lift, and I think I'm going to split the box off it and put it onto the engine stand and just give it a once over, change the gaskets and clean it up, paint it, etc. Need to get the ST170 engine, which is still on the stand. Need to get it off the stand. So that'll be probably the next video, getting that onto a stand and then working out exactly what I'm doing up in here. I have to tidy up the remnants of their grind the old mount kit and stuff off, and I want to just strip back any filler or any seam sealer, weld up the riv nuts, and just basically tidy up everything in there while I can actually stand in there again. So thanks for watching, as per always. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, just let me know what you think. That's what he thinks of it. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.